All right, let's take a look at 12/4/23. This is a roller coaster ride day, and a lot of things don't work out. So let's examine it in honesty and transparency here. We're not trying to create a strategy that is portrayed as a superior strategy that works all the time. This strategy has problems like every strategy, and we have to know how to maneuver those things. I've come to find out after testing many strategies that every strategy is going to break down and fail at certain times. Okay, so what happens? Here's the day we're looking at right here. It breaks down below the previous day's low. These white lines represent the high and lows of the previous day. All right, it opens up, doesn't go above yesterday's high, but it starts to break down below yesterday's low. Okay, and it's also below the 8 EMA. All right, and which means it's more bearish than anything, but it's still sideways more or less. So bearish is the kind of thing. And it breaks here, it breaks below with what looks like order blocks. We're not talking about order blocks in this playlist or back testing strategy, but I just wanted to mark that out that it didn't work either. But here it breaks down with a nice pattern. Let's see if we can mark that pattern out. What does it look like to me? Let's see. You know, it goes up here. And it breaks way down like this way, and we could try to get some kind of a breaker block out of this somehow, with moves like this, and trying to see if it does something. It swipes the top. It doesn't clear this one. I'm looking for any decent pattern at the low of yesterday, and we do see a failed attempt to go high here and a lower high, and we're looking for fair value gaps. Okay, and we're looking for fair value gaps to get retraced and used for an entry to go short. Now, let's take a look at this one here. I didn't see this one, but now I do see it. Here's another fair value gap. Okay, so there's 3 fair value gaps on the 5-minute chart, all the way down to the bottom. And let's mark this out while we're at it. Let's say we think we're at a bottom here, and we're looking for a breaker block to go the other way. Okay. Here we got a nice strong move up here, and the first fair value gap we get on the 5-minute chart's right here. Okay, does it ever come down and test it? No, it never does. Okay, so that's going back up, but let's talk about going down right now. We're waiting for it to pull back 50%. It finally pulls back in a range where we might be able to take a trade. Okay, so let's say we wanted to take this first area of testing this. It's not really pulled back 50% of this move yet. Let's take a look at the whole move here, and we're looking for 50%. It doesn't really pull back 50% until it gets up here. We could have taken a trade here at 50%, 60%, regardless where we decided to take this trade. Even if we waited all the way to 76% pullback here, it just doesn't work on this particular day, period. All right, and that's what's called a failure to to produce results, and that's okay. Keeping our stop loss tight, recognizing that it's not working, and don't keep entering trades. Now that's my challenge. Trying it again, trying it again, trying it again. Revenge trading is going to be a challenge on a day like this, right? It gets back up to the low of previous day, and do we get a sell opportunity? Yes, we do. Here's a fair value gap right here that actually produces a little bit of a retest and a breakdown. And so there we go with that. And it looks like that would have given us some profit on that. Second time it didn't. Break even at least on these things because you don't want to have a full loss. What I like to do is once it starts going in my favor, if my stop loss is here, my entry is here, my target is here, 2 to 1. Once it starts moving in my favor, I just start moving my stop closer and closer to break even. So by the time price is down here, 1 to 1 for sure, I'm already at break even. So if it comes back up on me before it hits my target, I break even on trades like this. I try not to take a full loss on it. Okay, so there's what we have for the 5-minute chart. All right, let's take a look at the 1-minute chart here. What do we have anything different on the 1-minute chart? Let's take a look at this area right here in particular. I want to zoom in on this initial breakdown Well, let's look at all the patterns and fair value gaps that we have on this very first breakdown. Okay, now 930 is right here. So it looks like it wants to put in one of those breaker blocks. It comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up again, higher, sweeping, and then it starts to break down, but we don't get any fair value gaps even all the way down to here. There's no fair value gap going down. Okay, so what we do on a breaker block is on the break leg, we're looking for something to have been fair valued in this area, and there's nothing. All right, there's nothing. What happens on the upside here is we get displacement. But it's not a bullish breaker block displacement. It's just a displacement of this down leg, and it creates a fair value gap. And it gets violated and looks like it wants to go up, but just completely crashes. But it does get violated, and it creates a double fair value gap. That's what this box is. Another fair value gap is created where it comes and tests it. So 2 failed long going bullish fair value gaps, which I'm not sure I would have trusted them because it's creating lower lows, lower highs. When it popped back up through previous low of day, it put in a wick and it was lower than this. So it's not a strong attempt to go back up. So when this came back down to test this fair value gap, I don't think I would have taken that trade. I would have said, this looks like it still wants to go down. But on the 1 minute chart, let's look at the 5 minute again. What do we have? When it comes down, you want to see fair value gaps created on the down leg. And here's the ones that we saw on the 5 minute chart, which didn't work. Are there any on the down leg on the 1 minute chart? And it's basically the same areas that created fair value gaps on the 5, which by the time it got tested and came back up, they just simply didn't work. This one didn't work. This one didn't work. These didn't work. And the whole day was a head fake. Every opportunity to take a fair value gap was a failure on this particular day. Let's look at that day again. Yeah, this kind of a day right here. Choppy market. It looked like it wanted to go below the low of the previous day, and there was a nice drop. But using the fair value gap strategy, it just simply wouldn't have worked. Could we use other strategies, moving average strategies, trend line break strategies, bear flag strategies, support and resistance levels, momentum strategies? Yeah, there's different ways this could have been traded to the downside. And, that's why we need multiple strategies in our playbooks. But using today, what we're researching is a breaker block, fair value gap strategy, and there's no trade for that strategy in this day. So let's mark it up as a lost day or just a zero trade day, and we'll see you on the next test. Peace.